Greetings users, this is part 2 of basic MIDI sequencing skills, and in part 1 we discussed the real-time MIDI input and ultra beat for using as a step sequencer, a couple of ways of inputting MIDI notes, and we also touched on quantizing and velocity for the notes as well. This video I'm just going to touch on a little bit of piano roll, editing the notes, and also clicking in using a mouse. Also how to automate the tempo, and a bit of automating the actual filter cutoff, and yeah, we'll crack on. So we were working on this piece of music with the video, and the first thing I'll do, we recorded some notes in. What I just wanted to show you, if we double click one of the MIDI regions, these are the green ones, then you can actually hear this. If I click on MIDI out, which is there, we can hear the notes. Quite useful. If you want to change the pitch, you can actually, okay, you can literally hear the pitch. This is a piano, and that's why it's called a piano roll, really. You can edit the notes. I can also alter the length of that note, or the start position of the note. Remember, Command Z will replace that, and also the placement of it. I can just pick it up and move it anywhere I want, really. If I want it just over here or down here, so you can move it anywhere you want, and remember, Command Z puts it back where you want it. The tempo automation, clicking in notes, yeah. If I wanted to add some more notes, I usually leave a pencil on my second toolbox. You've got a toolbox for the piano roll, you've also got a toolbox for your arrange window. So my piano roll, I always leave a pencil there selected, which means when I hit Command, it turns it into a pencil. And notice the length of it. If I do a smaller one, whichever one I select last, yeah, it will draw them in, and I can obviously alter the length if I want as well. Next one I draw in will be the same length as that now. And remember, you can just undo as many times as you want. In fact, you could go to undo history and go to a particular point that you wanted. So if I went to undo history, I could see all the editing that I've done there and the timings, and then just go back to where I want in time. Quite a handy little tool. Yeah, so I'm going to go back one more there. Now, if I wanted to change the tempo in the middle of the song, where we went to global tracks to put the video, is also a tempo, and if it's not there, remember, hold down Control and find it in the list and either tick it or untick it to get it back up. And there's your tempo. Notice it's got 175 at the beginning and then a blue line going along. Tempo automation's commonly used if you've got a verse at a certain tempo and then at the chorus you want to pick it up a couple of BPM. That's beats per minute. If you want to go a little bit faster and then maybe down for the second verse and then up again for the chorus, it's quite a useful tool. Once you've got this tempo automation up, you can double click it and raise it up there. Incidentally, you could, if you wanted to, put some curves in as well, like so. So this will be a gradual change up there to 206, which is far too fast, but it will show the point of the technique. I wouldn't actually do it at 206, but let's see what it sounds like, and then I'll probably step it down as if we're stepping back down to the chorus, back down to about something like that. So listen to what this sounds like. So you can see that gradual change up, and you get these pointers by grabbing just the corner bits there. Once you get the little glove with the pointy finger, then you know that you can adjust the curve. So pointy finger, adjust the curve, pointy finger, adjust the curve. So you can get like a real gradual slope in the tempo changes. The other thing I wanted to talk about, I'll just close that now to give us a bit of room. The other thing I wanted to talk about is the automation. So you've got automation up here, or you could just press A on the keyboard and automation comes up. And if we wanted to do a fade, let's do a fade on here. Just click on it once, the yellow line, because we've set this to volume. You could go to whatever you want. We're going to do volume, and I'm just going to pull it down so there's a fade going on. And I'll just solo that so you can hear the doing that. It's a drum beat there, and slowly that drum beat fades off because of the automated slope that we programmed in. You can put as many tempo nodes in as you want. And the other thing you can do is go a bit deeper into it. So for example, I could go into a compressor or EQ channel and change anything I want. Let's just look at inserting an effect. So I'm going to choose which track I want to automate with an effect. So let's automate the top one. So we've got lots of things going on. We've got volume going down on the drums, we've got the tempo of the whole track going up, and now we're going to put a filter on these stabs. So let's just hear the stabs on their own. Okay, and by clicking on the track on the left hand side, you'll notice this section here changes depending on what track I'm on. So there's different effects on different tracks there. So I'll go to the first available. We've got channel EQ, compression, space delay there, and then this next one is a blank one. So I'm going to look down in the effects and I'm going to choose filter, and I'll just choose the first one, a stereo auto filter. And for the purposes of this, I'm going to select. We only need this section here to demonstrate a low pass filter. I'm going to put LP for low pass there, and it's just going to let low frequencies pass. Okay, and we're just going to hear what that sounds like and adjust this cutoff frequency. The cutoff frequency chooses at what point we want the low frequencies to pass through. Okay, yeah, and effects. A lot of EDM music, dance music uses a lot of filters on most tracks. Just as we did the automation, pressing A, like that, we can switch A on again, and on the stabs it automatically defaults comes on at volume, which we did here anyway, but we want to click on it, hold our mouse down, go to the effect that we want, which is auto filter, and the parameter that we want, which is cutoff, and this line comes on. At the moment it says 57%. Why does it say 57%? Because it says it's actually set to 57% already, so it knows what we set it to. And then we're just going to, let's raise it so there's no filter on, and then gradually it comes down, and we'll just listen to that. And you can see there it's changing without me touching it. It's automatically doing it, automation. And let's put some resonance on as well, which is let's have a look, resonance frequency there, so this one here, and I'm going to be careful with this because it can be a little bit wild. I'm just going to go up slightly at the end so we can just hear that. Yeah, and then hear it with the track. Okay, and just like we did with the filter, we actually put this filter in ourselves. Each instrument that you play, for example this one, if I arm this track ready to record, put my keyboard on there, there you go, I can play the keyboard. the actual instrument it's playing is down here. It's always in blue, and these parameters can also be affected. For example, the sampler I'm using has also got a filter on it here, so I could do the parameters, affect the timbre of the parameters in the sampler here simply by choosing the right automation. So I'll go to A, get the automation up, and instead of the volume, I go to my EXS24, which is the instrument, go to filter, go to cut off, and then when I do this, you'll notice that I've adjusting this now. So you can see there you've got lots of automation that you can control and stack up. And just one more thing before I finish this video, I'll just do this in two parts, keep it short, and then I'll do an audio. I'll do two parts for the audio sequencing techniques as well. There's also markers that are quite useful. For say you've got a singer who doesn't really know the song, you could put some cues in for verse and chorus. And how you'd do that is you would go to global tracks, switch on global tracks, make sure markers is highlighted by clicking on control or right clicking and making sure your markers is labeled there, ticked. Once you've got that up, you can open up there and your markers will go here. For example, I can let's move the piano roll down, select this. If this was our intro or our verse, say, I could highlight this, create from region, and it puts a black marker there. I can change that to verse 1, so we can put a label on it. You can also change the color of it to make it really obvious where the track changes, yeah, you'd build these up slowly. For example, the next one might be joining that. Say this is just representing where a chorus might be here, so you can just do a chorus there. That's where we picked up the tempo, isn't it? So that kind of works as well. And yeah, just build it up. You can change the length of your chorus and gradually build up the arrangement so it's really obvious to see. Make this kind of really big on the screen so that your artists, your people singing or playing the instruments, your musicians, everybody can see their cues quite easily. Yeah, I hope this helps. And just to recap, we did clicking notes in, we did automation on the instrument and on effects, and then we also looked at markers. And I will see you in audio sequencing techniques. Thank you.